Prologue, the Word Patriot. The word patriot has been twisted. It has been claimed by those who shout the loudest, who wave flags as weapons, who mistake obedience for loyalty. But patriotism is not noise. It is not submission. It is not blind allegiance to power. True patriotism is moral. It is measured not by slogans, but by sacrifice, not by volume, but by vision, not by fear, but by freedom. The old idea of America, there was a time, at least in memory, when America felt like a promise of liberty, imperfect but alive, a promise that the people mattered, a promise that dignity could be defended against kings, tyrants, and men who thought themselves above the law. We failed that promise often. We betrayed it. We stumbled. We fell short. But the idea remained, the idea that America meant something larger than power, something deeper than borders, something freer than fear. That was the world we used to have, or at least believed we did. A world where freedom was not just a word, but a way of living, morality as compass. To be a patriot is to hold a moral compass, to measure not what is profitable, not what is convenient, but what is right. It means refusing to look away when injustice thrives. It means standing beside the vulnerable even when it costs you. It means telling the truth even when lies are safer. A patriot is not one who kneels to power. A patriot is one who demands that power kneel to the people. When patriotism was courage, there was a time when to be a patriot meant courage, to fight against empires, to march for justice, to risk jail, exile, even death, for the belief that freedom was worth more than comfort. Those patriots were never perfect, but they understood something we have forgotten, that liberty is not handed down. It is defended again and again in every generation. And when that defense falters, freedom fades. The false patriot today, the word is hollowed out, claimed by those who wave flags while dismantling the freedoms those flags once stood for. They call dissent treason. They call silence loyalty. They call cruelty strength. And in their mouths, patriotism becomes a weapon aimed at the very people it was meant to protect. But friend, a false patriot loves power. A true patriot loves the people. The global measure. Being a patriot does not mean standing only for ourselves. It means standing for freedom wherever it is threatened. When we abandoned allies, when we turned our back on refugees, when we betrayed the very values we swore to defend, we betrayed not only them but ourselves. The world once looked to America not because we were perfect, but because we aspired to be better, because we claimed to value liberty, dignity, and truth. What happens when we no longer stand for those things? What happens when our patriotism shrinks to nothing more than slogans and borders? Then the world learns that America is no longer a promise, only a brand. The citizen's burden. To be a good American is not to obey, it is to question. It is to resist when the nation betrays its own ideals. It is to remind leaders that their power is borrowed, temporary, conditional. It is to remind neighbors that freedom belongs to all of us, not just the loudest, not just the richest, not just the chosen few. The citizen's burden is to care enough to fight, not with violence, but with vigilance, not with slogans, but with truth. Memory of freedom. Do you remember, friend, what it felt like to believe in freedom? Not as a myth, not as a relic, but as something real? That memory is fading. The world we used to have is slipping from our hands. And the tragedy is not only that it is being taken from us, it is that we are surrendering it, We are told that freedom is dangerous, that security is safer, that obedience is easier, and slowly, quietly, we agree. But the echo of freedom remains, a whisper in our bones, a memory in our blood. The measure of a patriot. A patriot is not measured by the volume of their anthem, but by the courage of their dissent, not by the size of their flag, but by the strength of their compassion. A patriot is one who remembers the promise of America and refuses to let it die. We were meant to be a nation of free people, not obedient subjects. We were meant to be a beacon, not a brand. We were meant to live in a world where democracy was not theater, but truth. If we forget that, we lose not only the world we once had, we lose ourselves.